Yoshiharu Sagara finds himself in an alternate timeline in the Sengoku era, where some of the well-known warlords are female. Because of him, Hideyoshi Toyotomi dies, but he saves the life of a female version of Nobunaga Oda, named Nobuna Oda. As a reward, Nobuna makes Yoshiharu her retainer, but his claims of coming from the future brands him as crazy. Meanwhile, the Lord of Mino, Dosan Saito, calls for a negotiation with Nobuna. Dosan's servant, Mitsuhide Jubei Akechi, attempts an ambush which is foiled by Yoshiharu's foreknowledge. During the meeting, Yoshiharu convinces Dosan to ally with the Oda clan by making Nobuna his heir. Nobuna nonetheless chases Yoshiharu with an unsheathed sword. Yoshiharu must purchase 8,000 koku of rice in a week with only 3,000 kan, or lose his head to Nobukatsu Oda, Nobuna's younger brother, who threatens to rebel if he does not receive the head. Using his foreknowledge of market prices, and with the help of Toshi Inuchiyo, Maeda, Goman, and Goman's men, he manages to buy 30,000 koku instead. For the first time, Nobuna shows signs of having feelings for Yoshiharu. Nobukatsu rebels anyway, but Yoshiharu's guidance of troops subdues the rebellion peacefully by scaring Nobukatsu. Yoshiharu also prevents the execution of Nobukatsu, fearing that Nobuna will become a similarly ruthless ruler like Nobunaga. A grateful Nobukatsu changes his name to Nobusumi Suda, and surrenders all claims to the Oda clan. Dosan's 3 lieutenants and his son, Yoshitatsu, launch a coup d'etat. Nobuna cannot send military aid as the forces of Yoshimoto Imagawa are threatening Nobuna's borders. Nagamasa Asai proposes an alliance and reinforcement in exchange for a political marriage to Nobuna, which would undermine all Nobuna's dreams of unifying Japan. Ultimately, Nobuna's generals, Yoshiharu, Katsui Shibata, Nagahide Niwa, and Inuchiyo, in unison, turn the offer down. Later, Jubei arrives with Dosan's daughter, informing that Dosan is preparing his last stand. Yoshiharu and Goman undertake a very dangerous rescue mission that, after heavy casualties, would have failed had it not been for the arrival of Nobuna and her forces. As Nobuna berates Yoshiharu for his foolishness, everyone is soon informed that Yoshimoto and her army have invaded. Following the invasion of Yoshimoto's overwhelming forces, Yoshiharu attempts to locate her base camp and trigger the Battle of Okahazama with the aid of Goman, Inuchiyo, Nobusumi, and Nobusumi's many female bodyguards. At the base camp site, however, ninjas led by Hanzo Hattori attack Yoshiharu's entourage. Hanzo severely wounds Yoshiharu, but he convinces Hanzo that his master, Lady Moriyasa Matsudaira, need not serve Yoshimoto. After receiving Yoshiharu's information, Nobuna's forces launch a surprise attack on the drunk forces of Yoshimoto. Yoshiharu prevents the death of Yoshimoto by groping Katsui, and then charms Yoshimoto into surrendering. Later, when Nobuna's troops cheer for their victory, Nobuna and Katsui beat Yoshiharu and exclude him from the cheer. Nobuna's attempts to reclaim Mino is repeatedly foiled by Yoshitatsu's strategist, Hanbi. Yoshiharu, Jubei, Goemon, and Inuchiyo are sent to recruit her. They find themselves in competition with Nagamasa. Meanwhile, the reclusive Hanbi is forced to appear before Yoshitatsu, who wants to make her his own concubine. To force her hand, Yoshitatsu keeps her uncle hostage. Yoshiharu and Nagamasa accompany Hanbi to Yoshitatsu's castle to buy time while Goemon and Inuchiyo rescue the uncle. After receiving notice from Goman that her uncle is safe, Hanbi invokes magical creatures to defeat Yoshitatsu and his men. Having escaped, Hanbi, who is impressed by Yoshiharu's kindness and bravery, swears loyalty to him instead of Nobuna. Conquering Mino requires building a fort at Tsunomata, but Nobuna's generals repeatedly attempt and fail because of the nearby enemy garrison. Finally, the task is given to Yoshiharu, who has the foreknowledge of how Hideyoshi did it. Nobuna and Katsui leads most of the Oda army to Kisagawa. Yoshitatsu's generals lure Nobuna's forces to a valley. Unbeknownst to them, however, Yoshitatsu has rigged the valley with explosives. Nobuna, however, manages to escape the death trap along with Yoshitatsu's forces, who feel betrayed and have defected to her. Meanwhile, Yoshitatsu discovers that Nobuna's action was a diversion tactic, as Yoshiharu, Hanbi, Jubei, Goman, Inuchiyo, and a small force have set up a fort at Tsunomata overnight. They barely manage to withstand Yoshitatsu's siege until Nobuna's forces relieve them. Nagamasa and his army try to interfere, but Nobuna's forces under Nagahide ambush him. Yoshitatsu is captured and Mino is taken. Nobuna spares Yoshitatsu's life, but unlike Nobusumi, he swears vengeance. Nagamasa returns begging Nobuna to marry him. After promising an alliance, Nobuna permits her sister Oichi to be Nagamasa's bride, except Oichi is Nobusumi dressed up like a girl. Nobuna is sure that the disguise will not collapse by nightfall. Nobuna then starts her historic conquest of Kyoto, intending to install Yoshimoto as a figurehead shogun shogun. Yoshiharu, Hanbi, Goemon, and Inuchiyo are sent to scout the city ahead of time. The city is in the state of chaos. Most buildings are damaged or razed, and crime and disease are widespread. The palace is in control of the Myoshi 3, Sakahise Kono, Sokyu Suda, and Gosei Shokakuin. Yoshiharu's entourage chances upon bandits who have kidnapped the Empress, Himiko, and rescues her. They also help protect Portuguese missionary Louise Frois and her bodyguard Bantanmaru from more bandits. During a tour of the city, Yoshiharu and Inuchiyo are stunned by a magic spell of Hisahide Danjo Matsunaga, who demands Himiko return to the palace. Himiko promises to comply in exchange for the lives of Yoshiharu and Inuchiyo being spared. Nobuna's army finally arrives, bringing order to Kyoto. Kono demands 120,000 kan for the imperial court to recognize Yoshimoto as the new shogun. As such, Nobuna and Yoshiharu travel to the neutral merchant city of Sakai to ask its trade union to contribute to their cause. However, Sokyu Suda convinces other union members to contribute only under one condition. Yoshiharu and Jubei must compete in a cooking competition. The winner takes the 120,000 kan. Nobuna achieves what she is after anyway, but Sokyu Suda and the union leader, Sokyu Ime, respectively bet on Jubei and Yoshiharu, the stake being Ime's monopoly on the city's takoyaki stands. Ime and Nobuna both expect Suda to bribe other merchants and rig the competition in favor of Jubei. Indeed, Jubei is announced winner, even though the judges are impressed with Yoshiharu, who uses mayonnaise on his takoyaki, but finds Jubei's horrible as she cooked it too quickly. Ime feels the event went better than what he hoped, as he has the better recipe. Jubei, however, who has taken the competition more seriously than she should, demonstrates too much arrogance and is surprised to see Nobuna's cold, disgusted reaction. The Myoshi 3 orchestrate an elaborate plan against Nobuna and Yoshimoto. First, their counterintelligence compels Nobuna to send out her army to deal with a non-existent threat, despite Yoshiharu's foreknowledge of its falseness. Then a sniper kidnaps Yoshiharu to lure Nobuna into his crosshair and assassinate her. Meanwhile, Miyoshi troops attack Kyoto. Their leader Danjo teleports into Myomizu Temple and attacks Jubei. Despite being a swordsmaster, Jubei is no match for Danjo's magic. However, Yoshiharu's smartphone foils the sniper and Jubei manages to hold her ground until military relief arrives. Yoshiharu shields Jubei. Nobuna pins Danjo down. Hanbei counteracts her magic, and an angry Bantanmaru blasts away her recently arrived escort, while troops under Kurishiten lords and Lewis rout the Myoshi invaders. Fully defeated and impressed with the persecuted Japanese sharing Nobuna's vision, Danjo defects. Later, Nobuna meets Himiko, a psychic who had read Yoshiharu's mind earlier when he took her hand. She knows about the time displacement, his loyalty, and also his soft spot for women. Nobusumi discovers Nagamasa is a woman. She had to hide her gender to become a ruler. She suspects that Nobuna knew this. Meanwhile, Yoshiharu is relieved when Nobuna departs to conquer Wakasa, which would scare the troublesome Asakura without forcing Asai to choose between loyalty to Oda or Asakura. He explains that Nobunaga made the mistake of attacking Asakura instead, and Asai betrayed him, bringing about the frightening events of the 1570 siege of Kanagasaki. Hanbi, however, reveals that this might be exactly what's happening, as he sensed Nobuna lying to Yoshiharu. As Yoshiharu sets out to confirm that and warn Nobuna, Hishimasa Asai imprisons Nagamasa and takes over the clan, rallying troops against Oda. Sandwiched between two clans, Nobuna realizes that one of her retainers must sacrifice a rear guard to facilitate her retreat through the Kutsuki Valley. Against Nobuna's wishes, Yoshiharu, Hanzu, Goemon's men, and 500 soldiers form that rear guard and successfully rout the enemy advance guard. But as Nobuna rides to retreat, she is shot by the sniper. The bullet strikes Yoshiharu's smartphone, only stunning Nobuna. Yoshiharu's red guard, however, is decimated. To deny the enemy Yoshiharu's head, Hanzo detonates a bomb on him. As such, when Danjo brings Nobuna out of a coma, she is told that Yoshiharu and Jubei are pulverized. To keep her alive, Danjo gives her a motive: revenge. Scaring away the Asai and Asakura in the Battle of Anagawa, Nobuna comes very close to becoming the monster against which Yoshiharu warned, as he has Tennoji burned down to force out the Miyoshi conspirators. Her plan to attack the religious side of Mount Hiei to hunt down the Myoshi 3 and Asakura is met with heavy opposition from her generals. As such, a sacrilege would anger the populace. However, when Kano sends her the severed head of a Kikazaru statue and an insulting letter, Nobuna charges onward to kill Kano on horseback while her generals troops and allies scramble after her. Nobuna's reckless charge starts a full-scale invasion of Mount Hiei from several directions with participation from all her allies. Kano has explosives detonated to set Mount Hiei on fire, something he wants the public to see as Oda's military sacrilege. But his plan backfires as the sacrilege shatters the Meioshi III alliance, leaving nothing between Nobuna and Kano except an abortive Yoshitachu. Suda and Sokakuen join forces with Ime and Lewis and provide Hanbi with funds and support for a magic ritual. With Kano dead, Nobuna has a romantic reunion with Yoshiharu, whom the bomb had never harmed. Jubei, also alive, had found him shot, nursed him, and had coitus with him, something that Nini infers from her cocky attitude. Finally, Hanbi invokes a heavy rain on Mount Hiei, extinguishing the fire. Nobuna and her forces are welcomed by joyous citizens. Well, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed it, be sure to let us know by leaving a like, subscribe for more stories, and check out other stories here. And if you like anime music videos, check out Unlucky Artist on YouTube.